Boom! Welcome, everyone, to the Faz Radio Hour. We do an hour of Faz every week, at least. Stop typing so loud, Mr. Titan.
I've got my cheap keyboard on this computer because I'm not on it except when I'm casting. When that switches, when I'm casting more than I'm doing other building shit, it's like a goal for me. I'll switch to my good keyboard.
Hmm.
I'm gonna buy one actually, a Bluetooth one. They have a nice one. It's an MX something or other. It's fantastic.
So
Let me get that. It's not clicky.
what are we doing today? What are we doing today, Brian?
It is Gala week, boys and girls. We're going to talk everything Gala. Gala's our second favorite gaming company. Take that to the bank.
All right. Show it. Don't say it, show it.
So, we've got Q1 coming to an end for Gala Games. The new Gala Games, not just Gala Games, the new Gala Games. They promised us at the beginning of the year. Oh, that's what I have to put on my list. We had an interesting conversation in CFA the other day. All right, there, I had to type again, sorry. Everything Gala this week. And we're going to talk about the good things and the not so good things. Your favorite thing. Got your apologist hat on yet?
I defend everything I said earlier. Hopefully you wrote it down because I don't remember.
So let's jump right into it. So we talked about this a little bit last night. First thing we want to talk about is something that could be nothing or it could be very serious. And Gala needs to get some good lawyers, maybe. They had a good lawyer at one point, but something happened there.
Are you just making allusions? You should fill that in with data, sir.
That's
who is their good lawyer?
We're not going to drop names, but
see, this is what I'm saying. You're just
for
implication means it.
For what it's worth, I hated him while he was the law tank, but I don't hate him anymore now that I know him as a person and not the law tank. I don't like. I have no
idea. I have no idea what that means. Yeah. So okay.
So the lawyers apparently didn't read the terms of service very well with Gala. And they accidentally leaked some information about their blockchain in the terms of service.
Oh.
And in that terms of service, they put that when they refer to the Jiri chain, they're referring to the chain that it... Do we have the screenshot of that? Let me get a screenshot because I don't want to misquote with something this important. Let me see if I can find this.
Do we have an announcement for this Faz Radio out? People do an announcement.
Let's see. I'm going to go look for that while you do an announcement. I know what channel it's in.
I'm going to go look at the announcement.
Would you just look at it?
Shh.
All right. Can I copy this, I wonder? Edit? No, let me screen share for a minute.
Ooh, yes, there's a Faz Radio announcement. Okay.
Wait, is this still up? I don't know what I'm doing.
Tell me something I don't know.
All right, I'm just going to read this because I don't know what I'm doing. So it says, the blockchain means the Jiri blockchain, a permissioned blockchain developed based on Hyperledger Fabric, owned and controlled by the ARIO, A-R-I-O, Blockchain Trust. So, this opens the can of worms for a ridiculous amount of questions. First and foremost, who the hell is the ARIO Blockchain Trust? Is that people from Gala?
Spell it.
A-R-I-O.
ARIO Blockchain Trust. I'm going to Google that.
Mm-hmm. So is that Gala people? Is that some unknown third party? Is that a group of investors? If it's an outside group of investors, that affects the nodes and the node owners. If it's an inside group and they're using that to separate, why would they choose a trust versus a company? And if that's the case, because they could be trying to obfuscate. Did I do that right, Faz, that time?
Obfuscate.
Yes.
Not obfuscate.
Whatever. I can never say that word. But it sounds like I know what I'm talking about when I use it, so I like to use it. The ability to have information be public, which is yet another problem. And it also doesn't allow for public search, which is the third problem. So again, it's based on 1,000% trust that Gala knows what they're doing and what they're getting themselves into. And whatever they tell us, we have to kind of believe at this point. So that is the maximum privacy in an industry that's supposed to be transparent. And so this leads to a million different questions.
What industries out there is transparent? Come on. When I hear that, it's like, oh, let's hold this industry above all the other industries. Tell me an industry that's actually transparent.
Doesn't matter. We're not talking about other industries. We're talking about the crypto and DeFi industry.
Because crypto and DeFi is supposed to be transparent.
From a company that says it wants to be decentralized and transparent. They've said it themselves. That is not transparent and decentralized.
And I also hear things like sugar-free online and things like that.
Well, and they can never be decentralized.
Low salt, low sodium.
They can never be decentralized when they're owned by an entity.
Who's they?
Whoever they are, the Ario Blockchain Trust.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't find it. I Googled it.
So that is very, very concerning. Now, I'm gonna go with my conspiracy theory way off the edge. Okay?
Again. Okay.
Ario, ARIO, is very similar to aria, ARIA, which is a musical term. I wonder if the new token on there will be the aria token.
I don't know. REO sounds
Speedwagon.
Yeah. REO sounds like, their own spin on Aria. It would probably be called the REO token, if anything. That's if they didn't host a bunch of tokens with it. Then you could say a type of REO token.
I don't know. But at any rate, this is extraordinarily concerning to me that a trust is owning this blockchain. Number one, that it's owned, and that'll never get passed down anywhere. There's beneficiaries of trusts, which also obfuscates people who take money out of said blockchain. And you're not able to see the transparency on what comes out of it either. Because it's not a DAO and it's a trust, it'll operate in fiat currency, which is untraceable with blockchain explorers as well. So they could, in this trust, get a private account at a private bank with private rails at Huobi to offload tokens into cash or tokens into whatever, and we will never know the nary about it.
Narried in the never?
Narried in the never. So this is like worst case scenario, right? So all of the experts out there, because we have a ton of them, let's, as we do the show, keep them, either type them now or keep them for later in the cast when we open it up to our questions. So let's keep moving along. That's item number one.
Basically, that was conspiracy from
It's
Titan.
Not conspiracy. It's
the man who has a conspiracy channel.
I'll post it in the Discord. I'll post the screen cap that says that from the
You do
terms
that.
of service, and you'll
You do
have to
that.
go look at it yourself unless they've changed it already. They realized
Mhm.
it. But apparently, rumor has it that any messages or any conversation that's talked about like that is immediately deleted, is from what I heard.
On the Gala blockchain, the word Ario.
Well, anybody who brings up
Sorry,
questions around it,
wait.
uh,
I'm gonna find the Gala Discord right now.
oh
Like
boy,
Gala
here we
Games,
go.
and I'm gonna just type in the search box ARIO, and I see a whole shitload of. Well, I see one, two, three. I see Groove and Seborg and Oz and Adi and Oz are talking about it.
Just
So,
now?
well, yesterday as early as 5:17 p.m. But they're in the private channels.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess Gala didn't take too kindly to having that information posted, and then they realized, fuck me, it's in the terms of service.
we posted
They
your terms of service. Why'd I
read.
get banned?
Well, read the terms of service. They make you scroll for it. Yeah. Well, guess what we read. So, at any rate, let's move along. Q1 is over with the new Gala. And there's a couple of fantastic things, and there's a couple of things that are not so fantastic. Let's start with a positive, right? We want to get off on a good foot with their results, because this is something that I beat him with a wet noodle, Bitbender, the poor guy. I was real hard on him at year end, and our year end show, if you go back and listen to that one, the year end in review, I did the Truths According to Titan at the end of the show, and I just laid it out there like you wouldn't believe. So, playtests have come out on a lot of these games, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. People have been sitting on their hands with not a lot to do, waiting for all the epic of Gala to happen. And there was, I think, 3 running at the same time, and I think there's still 2 running right now. And Mirandus is about 2 weeks out for the big play test there. They are putting things out and letting people see what they're doing and letting people experience a little bit of what life on the platform is going to be like. I think that's fantastic. The Gala Music launch, that happened this week. That came off. It was, to be honest, there were issues as always, but as I said last night, by far it was the least amount of issues, and they were actually fixed within like an hour or two. So I thought that was great, and we talked a little about the beauty of it. Man, that Gala Music site does look slick as wet dog shit. There is no doubt about it. That is what Gala Games should have looked like a year ago. And I'm impressed with what they put together. And I know this is more on the game side here, but I'd call it a reserved win getting that platform up. There's glitches, yes. There's going to be. They weren't horrible. People didn't lose shit. They didn't lose money. They didn't lose ETH that I saw. If someone did, I apologize. But I didn't see any of that. So that is a huge plus. And most people are on the platform and are up and running with their music nodes. On the game side, we had 8 items for Q1 that was supposed to be done according to their presentation. I don't even know if you call it a light paper or a white paper. I don't know what you want to call it. Their goal statement for the year. The Go Dot Beta Live, that's what I said. That did not come to fruition. They had private play tests for it, and I guess from what I heard, some people were saying it went fairly well, but there wasn't a lot different. Now, it could be all on the back end, which is great. It could really prop them up for their next big release. I know they put out a lot of new art. So that did not take place at all. The Layer 1 blockchain release. Nope. They have nothing yet on any of that. They don't have the Blockchain Explorer yet either. And we've been waiting for that even longer than the chain, right? So those two are a no.
Wait a minute. Your reasons are a little bit weird. We've been waiting on the Blockchain Explorer longer than waiting on the chain. Listen to how you actually say these things.
We have been. Because
do you realize how you're saying these things? How can you have a Blockchain Explorer without a blockchain?
No. The expected release of the blockchain we knew wasn't coming. Benefactor, or I think it was Benefactor, was in Discord saying, oh, well, we've been using it for months. I don't understand why it's not released. And he said it should be released at the beginning of the year. Well, every time they said it was going to release, they'd push it back. Still no go, even though they had that on their sheet.
No Godot. No Godot.
No Godot on the Godot. Earnings were supposed to be out for Townstar and Superior. That's a big no. Those didn't happen. I didn't hear anything as to why behind the why with the Townstar thing. I don't know why that didn't launch. And Superior, I do not follow Superior very closely, so I'm not sure why it is they didn't release the earnings there. I know they got it over on Steam and people were playing.
So they actually said that they're going to release earnings of their games?
Correct. Townstar. That was on that slide that we put up.
Okay.
No Blockchain Explorer, and the big one for a lot of people was that blockchain vote. And I can't find any excuse whatsoever as to why that blockchain vote did not take place. It was supposed to be about the halvenings and when they happened and
we call them halvenings over where I live.
Well, I call them different. Is all you're going to do pick on how I talk tonight, or are you going to throw some actual Gala content into this?
I've been slammed with my stuff. It's the Titan show today.
Oh, my God. So there's no excuse why they couldn't have pushed that vote. That's really, really, really annoying. And they're already talking about it in all their communications as though they're doing it. So at this point, a node vote is like stupid, and it defeats the whole purpose of node votes. I'm really aggravated about that. So those are your results. The yeses and the wins was Gala Music, the platform launch and the fan store experience. I'm giving that a sort of, because you can take the beams that they created out of thin air overnight the day before it launched, and you can take and have them held against your favorite artist. Snuggle right up to your favorite artist with your beams, and that will give you fan experience points, which you can spend on a multitude of things that really haven't been disclosed yet. We still don't know what beams are, what they'll be worth, if they're going to be convertible to music tokens. We have no clue because, again, the communication coming out of Gala is worse than the U.S. government. You just never know what you're going to get, and usually it's not enough or too late. So the communication problems actually have gotten worse since the end of the year with the new Gala.
But you said that you were somewhat impressed somewhere?
I am. I've talked about my impressions. The Gala Music thing is fantastic, but that's Gala Music. They're a separate entity in Switzerland, right? So their platform has gotten a good foothold. They've gotten off to a good start. There are a lot of people who still don't know what the hell they're doing, and a question that I asked at the end of yesterday's podcast, where hey, explain what is Gala Music? What does Gala Music do? If you were going to tell a friend about Gala Music, you can't describe it easily because nobody really knows what they're going to do with it yet. I don't know. I honestly think they don't even know what they're going to do with it yet. They're just winging it as they go, I think. But they're putting stuff out. They're getting results. This is the year of show me, or show us, I should say, show everybody. And they're showing me stuff. I'm happy with that. Yeah, there were a couple hiccups. They weren't horrible hiccups. They were fixed quickly. They're on it. They're jumping on it. They're keeping people calm, which is huge. So I think that is a big win overall. And they needed a win, especially Gala Music, because they were having a lot of problems with people. They weren't delivering on a lot of the promises. So I'm really excited for Gala Music getting off the ground and starting up. Now, I hope they continue on that path and continue building and continue having their act together. Bucks is acting like a professional CEOs. She communicates well. She communicates in a manner, she doesn't tell people to fuck off and all that kind of fun stuff. She's doing a great job over there. And Taco, I don't know how the guy gets anything done because he's always doing 15 things at once.
I thought Taco left a while ago.
No, Taco's still over there. Unless you know something I don't.
I'm probably less informed than you.
So, we have news that dropped today. More breaking news, right? Hobio, H-U-O-B-I.
Huobi, move on. Get over it.
Huobi.
Own it.
Huobi is partnering with Gala.
Is or was or
is.
has been? Okay, is.
I don't know. I don't know how long. I don't follow it that close. It just broke today. And this time it wasn't just an announcement by Benefactor that had to be deleted later. This came from Huobi themselves. They tweeted it that they're partnering with Gala for not only the upcoming tokens, plural. The hell does that mean? I thought they were only putting one out, but apparently they're putting more out. For the upcoming blockchain as well. So they will be supporting the blockchain that Gala uses and tying it into their platform is what I'm guessing. Because they're partnering with them to onboard the platform. I don't know what that means, the blockchain.
That seems to have raised Gala's price 0.001 cent.
Yes.
0.4 to 0.4 cents to 4.1 cents.
ROI boys rejoice. Woot, 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 woot. Big candle, big candle. Here we go.
Maybe it was at point. It was 4.9 cents like last month.
Yeah, well, I sold high, and I'll rebuy as it continues to drop. Maybe just take that and get some more tokens out of it. I don't know. I'm done with the NFTs, man. I'm doing tokens only going forward. Unless there's something that just knocks my socks off in a game that I love that will give me utility and costs a reasonable price, and I know exactly what it is, what it'll do, and when it'll do it. So basically, I'm never buying an NFT again.
You want it to be a security. I get it.
I don't care if it's a security.
Well, then that's the information you'd get if it was a security.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you don't want a security, but you seem to want everything that security gives you, so you want a security.
Okay.
I mean,
Doesn't matter.
just to own it after a while. Just own it after a while.
Important. You don't.
It is important because you still have problems.
You don't own anything.
Even stocks and bonds.
No, you don't own
even dollar bills. You don't own the dollar bills in your wallet.
So moving right along, we had an interesting conversation this week. Somebody had popped up in CFA and said, "Hey, why don't we add such and such to the Thune list?" And I'm like, "There is no Thune list." What? Nobody's maintaining it. We got rid of it. Remember, I sat with Bitbender in December on that Saturday afternoon, and we went line item by line item and got everything off the Thune list, and we promised each other there would be no more Thune lists, and that's where the whole new Gala thing came from, right? And no one's maintaining one because they didn't take accountability on anything. So we're not going to bother maintaining it. No one's excited enough with Gala right now to maintain it. And they know that the resolution is going to be whenever the hell Gala wants to do it anyway. The voices of the community need to be heard a little bit louder because they've been getting off with that accountability stuff for far too long. And I'm hoping that in some short order, there'll be a person or an organization that can step up and be the voice of the community. I've offered my services and was turned down. You've offered your services and was turned down. There's several others that have offered their services and been turned down. You know, it's are you texting or are you doing a podcast? You're also muted. Okay, so this Thune list, we are not going to maintain it over at CFA. We're done with that. Nobody's interested. If you want to, you're free to do so, but it's long, it's complicated, and then you're going to have to fight with people and with Gala on what's actually completed and what's not. Take it for what you will. The last bit of info coming out of the first quarter, unfortunately, is a little more bad news. And we're finding that Gala stepped up with a lawsuit against the P-Gala fiasco. And we thought that was kind of cool, that they're standing up and you know, saying, hey, you guys need to be accountable for that. But as it goes around, we found another lawsuit pop up against Gala. And this one is from a film company who is suing Gala for breach of contract. We don't know what that means. It could be anything. It could be small. It could be large. It could be all sorts of different things. But it's in California, right? So the lawsuit, people in California guard that privacy something fierce.
I'm glad I was able to talk you down in the green room today because you were saying like, oh, this is a big thing going on. I'm like, you can't tell shit about what's going on other than that they're getting sued by somebody.
Yeah, it's concerning. You know, there's other lawsuits that are pending, but this is another new one.
How many are there?
Last month. Well, do the research, Faz.
Oh, no, sir. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. See, when you're the one that makes the assertion, you don't just say shit, and then when people go, what do you mean? And you say, you do the research. No, it's up to you if you're going to make a assertion, sir.
You can go into your Discord.
I could, but I'm not going
to go to the conversations that talk about that. If you want to put private channels up here to show evidence, go right ahead.
I don't need to show evidence. You're the one with the assertion.
So it's something that is, as you say, Faz, you argued, you know what, it's normal. Companies get sued all the time.
I did.
But it is a little concerning that an entertainment company is coming after Gala for something.
Not concerning at all.
They haven't even launched yet, and there's already problems.
Entertainment companies and game companies being sued is a cost of doing business. They're always jockeying over jockeying positions and stuff like that. So let's see. The research I did on that Escape Velocity Partners or whatever Escape Velocity company is, it's some video company in India. So that's all I know. So perhaps perhaps they had some small company in India doing work for them, and then they canceled the work. That could be it. Or it could be ground shaking because that company has 131 Facebook followers, and this is the company you got to pay attention to. Gala porn got canceled. Jesus Christ, really? Fuck.
That's pretty good. No, but all right. So I'm trying not to be negative about it. I'm not going to beat him up for it. This is just the news, right? For those of you who have not been following along, we're just going to report it as it is. And especially at these quarter end shows, this stuff, I mean, everybody's going 1,000 miles an hour with, I don't have any hair, but with their hair on fire. And you miss a lot of this stuff. And there's a lot of people who don't pay attention to the little things like that. And like last night, we talked in depth about these games and where they could go and playable and what their assertions are and what they're trying to accomplish and what Gala's trying to accomplish and what this space is doing. And they've got to step up their game. They've got to step it up. They can't just go a quarter like this, put these things down, and then just sit back and go, oh, whoops, we didn't hit any of those goals. Oh, well.
That's something that I would actually have to agree with you on, that if they're going to put out a roadmap, you're going to let me finish? They're going to put out a roadmap. I think that they, at the very least, are they commenting on this roadmap at all?
Them?
Yeah, Gala Games.
No.
So if they're going to put out a roadmap and hit how many items on this roadmap? Just a couple small items?
There was 8 on the game side. They hit none of them. There was 2 on the music side, and they got 1.5 of them.
Well, 1.5. I don't know what that means, but let's just say they got 2.
They launched the fan experience store, but nobody knows what it's about yet.
Give them a reach around and say that they have 2.
1.5.
And 2 out of how many items on the overall list?
2 out of 8.
So they only had 8 promises on their roadmap?
First quarter, for first quarter.
So I did expect more than that, to be honest. I expected at least 3 or 4.
That's
like
what
up
you
to
had
half.
mentioned, when we were talking about
so
it.
I'd have to be a little bit disappointed. However, my disappointment would have ebbed a little bit if they would have given reasons or kept up with some sort of narrative.
So they met one of your presuppositions in that they are keeping their mouth shut. Right? You always said they just got to shut up.
Shut up and do it.
Yeah.
Hang up and drive.
There's the part. You just said it. You got to shut up and do it. They shut up and didn't do it. So they've got to perform on either the shut up or the do it. They can't do both and be successful. And that's not to say they're not going to be successful long term. I doubt it. I put it all in CFA. I went on there the other night and I wrote a novel. But I do believe they'll survive, but I don't think they're going to be a major player on the game side. And I'm not sure they're going to succeed with the music the way they've got it set up right now. I think their best bet is the film side. And what they're doing there, from the stuff that I've seen and the AMAs that I've watched, I think 2 in the first quarter. I think they've got a decent shot at making something good happen with the film side.
Does Nerd Node shut up and do the work?
No.
No?
No.
What does Nerd Node do?
They don't do anything, man. They just push buttons and make shit work.
I don't know. That was a plug that you dropped the ball on there, sir.
I did not.
I would think that Nerd Node would shut up and get the job done.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you do the commercial then this week? I like to pick up on something cool when my mind sparks it in a conversation and run with it.
Well,
if you want to
I wanted to
do
say
the advertisement, go
sure.
for it.
Node
I
runs.
sang.
No, I'm not going to sing. Node runs your Gala nodes for you and other types of nodes for you. That's what they do. See, see this little flashy here. That's what they do. They run your nodes so you can make money with your nodes, or sorry, you can make crypto with your nodes. Actually, they'll make the crypto for your nodes, and they'll give you most of that.
Give you most. What are you doing? You're butchering this commercial.
That's. I don't talk smooth like you do. You go to Nerd Node if you can't run your own nodes yourself. You don't want to put it on a PIVPS machine. You don't want to pay money for a virtual machine to run your nodes for you. You don't have one locally, or it keeps going down. Nerd Node keeps your nodes up, kind of like what Node Viagra. See,
that's better.
You need a catchphrase.
That's why I wait for something cool in the cast to be said, and then I play it off of that. See, that's how it works. You just got to be able to think quick, think on your feet.
Well, Nerd Node's running my nodes right now.
I only have 3 nodes. How's that working for you?
Actually, it's not that bad. I do get an email every once in a while saying that my Gala nodes are down, but that seems to be like some sort of just automatic email from Gala. If your Gala nodes were down, a Nerd Node would still guarantee you the funds that you would normally get that day. So it kind of doesn't matter what those emails were. You can ignore them, but Gala sends them.
Yeah, they're gonna have those back up. Good job. You recovered pretty good there.
I didn't recover. I was just spoon feeding it. So Nerd Node is currently running my nodes while I'm in between houses at the moment because I can't run any computers right now. I'm running off of a laptop.
Your and Wi-Fi is doing way better tonight than it did last night.
Yes. So I'm running off a laptop and Wi-Fi, and I'm moving stuff daily, and I'm barely able to pay my attention bill at the moment. And
oh, Matt, yeah. Let me tell you. I run mine too. I have an Ubuntu rig over in the corner, and I'm running 4 nodes on it at the moment. Running Bitcoin. I'm running a BitPay server. I'm running Gala. I'm running music. What else am I running on there? A whole bunch of them. And
you can run run multiple nodes on a home desktop.
Oh, and Matt? It's the crappy desktop that I got. I'm running everything on there. I got a full node on that thing.
One node or mini? I thought you could only do one node per computer.
No, I'm not running multiple Gala nodes.
I'm asking Matt here. See these words right down here, right there, which somebody put on the screen.
You can do it.
I didn't know you can run multiple nodes.
Yes, you just need a new machine ID, and you can get that.
Okay, one music, one film. So you can run at least one of each, but you can't run like 2 music nodes or 2 film or 2.
Yes, you can. You get a new machine ID, but within the virtual environment.
People one node of each type.
They'll walk you right through.
Okay. You just switched gears. Yes, you can have multiple virtual machines running on your computer, but that's going to be kind of hard if you don't have a really high-end computer.
No, you only need a small amount of RAM. It'll still leak through. That's what I'm told. At least I was reading about it in the node room.
Secondhand. You're saying stuff secondhand like it's true. Got it. It's called conspiracy.
Talking about
conspiracy theory.
You are
okay. So Matt here has got it right. You could run one node of each type on your own home machine if you so choose, but you cannot run like 2 of the same kind.
You can,
two Gala nodes. Well, it's difficult, very difficult. So Nerd Node, where's the little Nerd Node thing? Nerd Node does all that stuff for you, so you don't have to worry about that.
So what are your thoughts on how Gala's performed without being too specific to the things? Like overall, what grade would you give them for their first quarter performance? Being
Everybody
a high-end gamer.
Well, in my case, I have been out of pocket, as it were, due to the fact that I've been moving lately, so I can't comment much. But I can say that people seem to be very impressed by the fact that Gala music is finally kind of ramping up a little bit. But that's only within the last few days. And I kind of feel like that's not enough, like that they should have had more. Like almost they had been like Gala Music was the only thing that they were going to do.
Well,
They could have gotten some low hanging fruit there on their list, I think.
I really didn't think music was going to come through. I thought if anything was going to fail, it was going to be the music side, because up to a week ago, they didn't look like they knew what they were doing at all. And they flipped a switch and shut the website down, brought it back up a couple hours later, and it
So what
looked
that
like
really means,
$1 million.
okay, so let's get into that. What that really means, here I'm going to focus on me since you've just gotten up and walked away. What that really means is they actually had something put together while you were all worried about them not having shit. And if they flipped the switch, it was ready to go.
That's right.
And in a lot of situations like that, they might be waiting on contracts. They might be waiting on rights or something before they make something go live. So that's not as much of a defense as much as just stating reality. But the fact that you said that they flipped the switch, they had done the work.
Right.
It just wasn't live. Okay, fine. They've done work.
But they've proven that they can execute. And there was a couple of glitches, and they jumped on it and fixed it right away. They were professional about it. They had all hands in there talking to people, walking them through everything. Now, because they're still lousy at instructions, right? So they offered a batch mint, which I thought was awesome. You could move all of your music tracks over in one transaction to the Jiri chain. And that was awesome. It saved people a ton of money. The problem is that they didn't jump out in front of that and tell people, well, in order to use that feature, you have to be on the MetaMask wallet. You have to get rid of your
well, you talked about that last night.
Gala, right?
Talked about that last night with Nate.
So,
you can do it without the MetaMask wallet.
Well, not the batch. You can't do the batch without it.
I said you can. So yeah, not the batch, sure. But the point is, you don't need the MetaMask wallet. I wanted to make sure that that was qualified.
Mm-hmm. So overall, they did extraordinarily well on that. Now that is what I would expect to see from games. If games can do something like that, even if they only delivered on, let's say, half of what they put out for their roadmap, but they executed those fantastically and gave people something to grab onto, that would have been, in my opinion, a huge, huge win. So moving into the second quarter, they've got to make up for the first quarter, as well as go into the second quarter, and the roadmap gets fuzzy. The longer in the year you go, the fuzzier it gets. Like, they're real specific in Q1, right? And then it starts going to release games. Well, what the hell does that mean? Does that mean release an alpha, release a playtest?
Well, I'm still hung up on the fact that you're saying that they don't comment on stuff that is on their roadmap. And I would think, especially as Q1 has ended, that they should have some sort of comments on why things haven't hit their dates.
I have not personally seen anything, and I peruse CFA quite a bit. I was in the Gala server, I think, twice this week, and I didn't see any conversations about it. So you would think they would get out in front of this. There was one grumbling that I bumped into that someone said, I guess, I'm pretty sure he said it was Bitbender confirmed that one of the things wasn't going to happen. Like a couple of days before the end of the month here. And, okay, let's see. There's 7 other things on the list. Let's see what they hit. And they got nothing.
Well, they got Gala Music, apparently.
No, I'm talking on the game side. Just on the game side. They went 0 for 8. So as we go into Q2, let's take the bitch session out here just like we did at year end. Let's take the bitch session out. Let's beat them up a little bit here. Let's let them know we're watching and we're expecting accountability for that, and we're expecting them to come out with some statements or something along those lines that can tell us, hey, what happened? That isn't complete bullshit, right? There are people on the platform that still have some hope that some wins are going to take place. All right. And they need it badly. They need a Gala music moment. And I'm hoping that in Q2, when we sit here, what is that, June 30th? When we sit here on June 30th, that we're going to be able to say, you know what? They not only got all of the first quarters made up in the second quarter, but they did these 3 additional things. I would love to have that cast. I want to see that cast happen. Vox.
So-
Talk to us about Vox. People, this is like the second or third time I saw Vox. Ooh,
Something
Matt's
new
got-
coming up about Vox?
Matt's got some grades. He gives games a C. He gives music an A. Oh, D or an F for Vox. Film gets a B or a C.
Games has been doing a lot of play tests.
Yeah. That's
Is
I think,
is
the
that
only
showing
way.
is that showing your work? Playtests might not have been on the roadmap though, right?
No.
That is my sense. Actually, is they did the playtests because they didn't have anything else, and they're like, well, at least let's turn some of these games on and let people play them. The question is, why aren't they doing that more often? Is it that the games just aren't that developed and they get boring quick? Is that why the playtests aren't on all the time, or maybe they have limited server space? So that's the
Could
question.
be. Zorro. Lost because of workers scattered all over the world. It doesn't matter if they're in one building or all over the world. They're in front of a keyboard. They have Zoom. They have this, what we're doing. People can get together whenever they need to. I wouldn't. I think that's a really bad excuse because they promoted that. They said they work more efficiently and they work better that way. They complimented themselves on being $1 billion company by having that model. At the GDC, Bitbender was on Twitter in a video saying they don't do corporate well, and that's better that way. So that, I'm sorry, Zorro, that doesn't fly with me at least. They've set the model up this way. They've got to figure out how to make it happen that way. Second, Gala Music is the same way. They don't have a headquarters, right, where they all show up at 8 o'clock in the morning and take their lunch at noon and leave at 5 o'clock. And they managed to get it done. So I think it's along the lines of they just bit off way more than they can chew with everything that they do. They've been doing this for 2 years. They think they can do it, and then they realize it's a lot more work than they anticipated.
Is Punjab somebody who works for Gala Games or knows something about Gala Games? It's talking
You're getting
about
called out. Punjab's been with us for a long time. He comments
yeah, I know, but
regularly.
I thought he was more informed. So he's saying bugs are bad. So I'm curious about, are there a number of bugs with all these games that are out, or are you just saying in general?
Oh, Faz, you should go over to the Townstar development thing. They posted a screenshot of bugs. And it wasn't the all-inclusive list. They want their proprietary stuff to be hidden. But they were a little bit transparent with what's been going on. So there was a little communication on that side of it.
It'd be in the Townstar, like
I don't remember where I saw it, to be honest with you. I would imagine the Townstar developer channel.
is there one? I don't see
Oh
one.
wait, here Matt's got us filled out. They've been releasing the bug spreadsheet they're working through for Mirandus for the next playtest. Oh, was that? I thought I saw one for Townstar. Thought I saw a screenshot of somebody's computer that had some stuff on it for Townstar. Am I crazy? That's weird. But that's a very good thing. Yeah, of course there's going to be bugs, right?
Bugs with new features. Whenever you add another feature, you're going to get bugs with that new feature.
Right. Okay. So, what else do you want to talk about regarding Gala? We're coming up on the end of the show. We want to give open mic night a chance for people to speak and give their comments, as well as if anybody wants to pop on the show with us and talk about Q1 and what their thoughts are. Tell Faz he's doing a great job with his goofy situation of being between two places and being on shitty Wi-Fi.
I'm not feeling like I'm doing well, so that makes one of us.
Right. All right, that's all I had for today.
All right, let's see if anybody says anything. Anybody have any more comments here? We have been getting.
What do you want to see him accomplish while we're waiting? What do you want to see him accomplish in Q2, Faz?
I would like to see Townstar get to some of their promised land that they have promised. Because Townstar has been retooling for a while now. I forgot when they shut down Towncoin, but it's been a long time. Now they made it so you could convert your Towncoin to Gala, which probably everybody did. And I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with Townstar. When's Townstar going to get to where we can use those original earning NFTs again? Because they seem to have come up with a whole separate economy in the meantime. Great, you have that separate economy. What about those original NFTs? Are they now just no longer earning? You're done with them?
Maybe.
So that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Townstar get to that point, one of those points that they promised once they shut off Townstar earnings. Because that was supposed to be temporary. That wasn't supposed to be permanent. But there's still no earnings.
Nothing more permanent than a temporary program.
Well, if you think about it, everything's temporary.
Well, I don't think they're gonna rug the earnings. I don't think they can. I think if they bring out a new game and don't put earning NFTs with it, then that's one thing. If they decide for some reason to never do earnings after they sold people tens of millions of dollars worth of earning NFTs and try and fall back on the, hey, we never promised you'd make any money. You're earning entertainment. We just promised earnings. You're earning entertainment. If they try and fall back on that, that's not going to go over well. And that will get around to all the new gamers that are coming into the system.
Well,
and they won't like that.
Maybe. I think they're intentionally retooling due to fear of the SEC, and they're treading very lightly. And every time the SEC comes out with something more scary, they tread even more lightly. That's not entirely bad. I mean, it might be what's necessary.
Could be. So a couple questions came in. When Beam tokens, real tokens, we were told as soon as they finish with getting the contracts up, that could be a week, that could be a month, that could be 6 months. They're, I guess, having trouble getting tokens listed as the rumor that's flying at the moment. Jiri updates. Well, we gave you a big one at the beginning of the show. That's going to have to be questioned. And since, Faz, as you said, you saw people talking about it over at the Gala server, they're not going to be able to ignore that for very long. They're going to have to come out and say something, which is probably what they're frantically having meetings about now.
Is that what they're doing right now? Where'd you hear about that?
I would imagine that's
So,
what I would be doing if I was on that side
so
of it.
you're saying stuff that you would imagine, and you stated
Mhm.
it like it was actually happening. This is how
No,
conspiracy theories start.
I said I would imagine.
Okay.
That's why I said that.
I'm glad you said that after I asked for more details.
Yeah. So what's going on with the L1? Nobody knows. So I guess the Chain Explorer is the next big release. And we know that's gotten pushed back a couple of times. Apparently, there's some Twitter threads that are going around that Bitbender said it starts with an M and ends with a Y. And so that could mean Monday, or that could mean May,
Money.
or when
Money.
Gala makes more money.
That's what I got from that.
It could be, who knows, right? They're going to tell you what you want to hear until they have to tell you something else. Hopefully we get that soon, and hopefully it goes back to Block 1. That's another big thing. I want to make sure. I've been talking smack about that the whole time. I'm real nervous about what they're going to allow you to see on this blockchain. Yeah, so Matt said same thing. Contracts and exchanges get lined up for the music token. When Fazverse Radio? What's Fazverse Radio? I don't know that one.
Well, we did talk about in the past having more than just one Faz radio show.
Yeah, and then you decided to move, so we can barely get one show scraped together, let alone multiple. It's coming, Zorro.
Wait.
It's coming.
When? Soon.
Yeah.
There.
No, we'll never use that term. But the other side of that is that there are some other podcasts that are opening up. Nate and I are doing one on the conspiracy theories. Go figure. We're talking reality. We're talking freedom. We're talking... we did a show last night on government overreach. I just released that today, so it's out in the wild if you follow the channel. We have Glitch Through Gaming, who has done some just knock 'em out of the park interviews with a lot of different people. There's one, my favorite one that he did. He interviewed a Gala music artist and talked about the onboarding and how the process works. So, Zorro, you have your own. I've caught bits and pieces here and there. And when my computer wasn't throwing me off, I love the people that you have on there. I love the conversations you have. You gotta spread that to YouTube, and you've got to spread it to other places. I'm at my website. I'm also streaming Glitch and ours and Faz Radio, and I can't get Zorro's on there because it's a Twitter thing and it doesn't let me pull it. So I'm kind of aggregating those in one spot for all the people who are out there creating and talking about this cool stuff. I'm running Nate's private show off of there too. He does a weekly show where he talks about crypto and the markets and what's going on and gaming and all that stuff. And we have 2 shows here. So we're getting our hands full. We're moving in that direction. We're expanding. It's just a little slower than we anticipated. Monstrosity.
All right. So we're at about an hour.
Yep.
And I think we're kind of done here. What's this? Just do something different. I'd really like to see Titan talking about conspiracy theories. Well, he's been just going into that.
Yeah, there's 3 episodes up, both on video and audio. If you pop over to my website, it's called Unleash Reality, and it's .io, unleashreality.io, and all the podcasts are streaming out of there. You can catch those shows as well as Faz Radio. We have some ideas that we had talked about at the end of the year. Faz and I, we just haven't caught up as much as normal either. But we have some really good ideas for this year. As soon as he gets settled and gets his
Give
damn
me a few
land
weeks.
cord,
Give
land
me a
cord
few
done,
weeks.
we'll get back to building a little bit harder on this podcast side.
All right. Well, on that note, I appreciate you guys coming by, and thank you, Titan, for coming up with that detailed list previously. What was that, the beginning of the year and just now?
Yeah, we
doing the
need
grades
some
there.
wins on the game side, man. Music, kicking ass. Keep it up. Games, you've got a lot to do.
The last word is you made some points, but you're expecting Goose Egg to be done. And where's Goose Egg? Right here.
Oh, yeah.
You're
and
expecting
nothing was
Zero to be done. Gala Music?
No, we were talking about games on that one. I said the games won't do anything. My
Okay,
prediction
so
came true
you
for
get
that,
points-
but I'm
You get points for that.
very, very pleasantly surprised with music.
So
Hats off to Bucks and
I
company.
figured they would do more with the whole list. I don't remember what I said about games, but I figured that they do more with the whole list. So I'll give you some points there. How's that?
I like points.
Yes. All right. So on that note, thank you guys. We're done.